To the channel, please check out the card above to start from the beginning. If you're not new, here is the recap. After their narrow escape from the boat, our duo head off to see the doc for some treatment, finding out while they were there that the goons had already been there and they were heading to kill a rat, leading us on a merry chase to get to them first and find out what they know. Finally, leaving off with us receiving another lead, which is what looks like a hospital bracelet. So we all know who we need to go and see about that. I do believe it is back to the doctor as we go. Enjoy, guys. To Boobos.
Hello, Ursula, dear.
Oh, hello, dear.
What's the rush? Is there something wrong?
Wrong. Wrong. That dim-witted, insane, ragged old stinky owl. That's what's wrong.
Okay.
Whoa.
You know what? I expected Ursula to be Russian for some reason.
You happen, and Wessler's goons. It was supposed to be the only day of the year we could have relaxed a little.
We're sorry, Ursula.
Very sorry about that.
You're right.
Like I care, Marty. I'm tired of this. Tired of the bitter old owl, and I'm tired of waiting.
And?
Never mind.
She wearing keychains
I'm going for
as
good.
earrings.
Hang in there, Ursula. And if there's anything we can do to help.
Anything? Of course there is, my dear. I never want to see your faces again.
To be fair, you could probably just eat our faces.
Talk to the old owl, all right?
Good luck with that.
Oh, and
Is he
Ursula,
drunk?
Thanks for all you've done for us with the car.
You know, I'm starting to regret it.
I
was
really don't think you'd believe
rough.
that, do you?
Yeah, but understandable. I only see Bubo once a year, and even that's way too much.
A lot of people feel the same about us.
Bubo is one of the underground doctors. Because of course he is. Right. Bubo, my man. Strange wristband.
Hey, what's up, Doc? Somehow we guessed we'd find you still awake.
Well, it is
I'm
nighttime.
innocent. I've heard that little intermezzo. I have the ears of an owl, you know.
I do.
We're very sorry, Bubo. I'm sure she'll come back.
She always
Of
comes
course
back.
she'll come back. She loves me. I don't know why. And she's afraid that I'll drink myself to death once she's gone for good.
That may be a distinct possibility.
What do you want? Haven't you caused enough trouble already?
Well, we'll have this
We're here for some
bracelet.
information. Then we'll be out of your hair. I mean, feathers.
Who cares? So what do you want? And be quick about it.
So we'll have a bit of a problem here.
Say, Bubo.
Talk about Ursula first.
What about her?
She's a very nice lady.
That's just it. What if she's not coming back? I'm a little worried about you, Doc. And you know that's not my style.
It's a bit,
Don't
you know.
worry, boys. The wind's blowing, the sun's shining.
And Ursula
And
always
it's in the middle of the
comes
night, so it's not really shining now, is it?
There are things in the universe that are unchangeable.
Touching, but you should be prepared for the worst. I thought Molly was coming back too, you know.
You always expect it.
Yeah.
I trust Ursula, Sonny. What else can I do?
Well, to be honest, that's all you can do.
Trust them and maybe go after them to try and talk to them. But sometimes I don't want to be talking. Anyway, getting sidetracked. Strange wristband. We'll have a strange wristband
What
for
do
you
know
to check
about
out.
this wristband, Bubo?
Zipp said they gave these to patients in hospitals. That's why we came back to you.
Something similar, yes, but
So where's it
not
from?
Exactly the same. It's different.
And?
And what?
Well, what do you think?
What do you think where it's
Where's
from?
it
What do you mean, what do I
How the
think?
hoot would I know, Sonny? What am I, some kind of psychic? That I put my hands on it and tell you?
No, but
Okay, let's try another approach.
it was a corpse with a wristband.
Do you have any idea why Wessler's men were looking for Zipp so hard?
I don't. How should I know? Why should I care?
Because you have your fingers in all sorts of pies.
Wessler killed. The wristband is from the corpse.
Really?
Forgot about that.
That rang a bell, old owl.
You drop the body off at the hive.
If I'm right, you're in deep shit.
Don't we know it?
That's more like it.
Tell us, Boobo.
So, Wessler, the wristband, and a corpse, huh? It looks very much like I know the connection.
Please enlighten us of this
Or at
connection.
least I have a hunch.
Hunches will do me.
Face.
Okay, don't peck me, chickens. Hobart Ibn Wessler has a relative
Okay.
who happens to be a resident at an insane asylum.
Do you think they killed
And is
said
very
person?
likely from there.
Wait, a relative? What kind of relative?
Yeah. You don't know? I thought you were
Okay.
the detectives.
Oh.
Anyway,
Oh, hold on.
Ibn Wessler has a twin brother, Albert.
There's a thought.
Wessler.
You put it together very skillfully, Marty. Yes, Albert Wessler. He's a madman kept in solitary confinement.
There's a thought, because
Do you think he's the corpse? But why?
no,
How
I
the
get the
hell
feeling.
should I know that?
Thanks, Boobo. If what you told us is true, then this time we'll owe you one.
Sounds like a plan.
Wonders never cease.
We'll maybe back. So, Albert, do you think it was a bait and switch? Because Ibn, his personality changed quite quickly. Do you think that Ibn was killed at the behest of Albert? And Albert escaped, and put his bracelet on Ibn's corpse to make everyone think that it was Albert that's dead, not Ibn. That is a possibility. We have to come back to that one. Yo, Boobo, tell me about Albus. Albert, Thaddeus. That was a mixture of Albert and Thaddeus. Tell me about Albert.
So, Albert Wessler. Which asylum do you mean, Boobo?
It's got some fancy long
Right,
name.
fancy long
I
name.
don't remember, but I have a brochure. Let me find it for you.
Thanks, Boobo.
All the best insane asylums have brochures.
Let there be peace forever. Mental institution for ill and damaged minds. Quite a beakful.
That's quite a
Where can
mouthful.
we find it? I've never heard of it.
It's a good 6-hour drive from Clawville. Maybe more.
Can he trek?
But you'll find everything in the brochure.
You're the best,
sure.
Boobo. You finally proved useful.
6 hours away.
Finally? Now get your chicken scratchers out of here while I'm asking
I have one more question, actually.
Just one more thing.
What's that, Boobo?
If that someone was really Albert Wessler, the trouble's bigger than you think.
I have
It's
no
always
doubt of
bigger
that.
than we
It's
think,
always
Boobo.
bigger.
We're used to it.
You don't understand. Ibn Wessler never loved and respected anyone in his life like he did his brother Albert.
Okay, so maybe my
Then
first
the
theory was
problem's
wrong.
Bigger than we thought. A cornered rat bites.
Well, thanks for worrying about us, Doc. But there's no way back from here. Too far, too late.
We're like hounds, old man.
Alright.
Once we've caught someone's leg, we never let it go.
Alright, we're just gonna go
Not while
balls
you're
deep into it, are we?
alive, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, let's do it.
Goodbye then, fellas. And I wouldn't mind if you never visited me again.
You know that's not gonna
Pleasure was
happen.
all ours, Doc.
You know we'll be back. Boobo, I have one more question.
That rat you mentioned was
Zipp.
Should I be surprised or what? I knew it was him.
And why didn't you say it?
Yeah, we knew you knew.
We
What
knew you
did
knew.
that old raccoon do this time?
Ibn was blackmailing him with something.
Okay.
That's what we wanted to
Oh,
ask
alright.
you. Do you know anything about it?
I don't care about Wessler's dealings, Sonny. I patch up whoever winds up here.
I think I should have asked this before the other one.
Gangsters. It's the same thing.
Or gangster cops.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Right. So where?
You think he's broken up about it?
All right, calm down.
You mean because of Ursula?
I don't know.
I don't think
He'd be
so.
fine.
He's too proud ever to admit he was wrong, or say he's sorry.
I'm just gonna go with this one because I didn't mean to do this.
Down inside.
Oh, I don't want to know what's deep down inside a bubo, Marty.
Do you really want to know this? This is really like the best information to have. Actually, let's have a look. What can we call them? 555-966. That's a possibility. Head back to the apartment. Give them the number.
Why did you keep that wristband?
Alright. Oh, shit.
What about your experiments, Doc?
Oh, experiments? Whoa, 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 whoa.
How
Experiments?
do you know about the experiments?
I'm just,
If you dare to squeal about them, Sonny, I swear I'm
Not a
gonna
word.
strangle your little skinny chicken neck.
Hey, stop right there. I
Oh,
was bluffing.
Bluffing was a
okay?
bluff.
I don't know about any experiments.
Oh, now I'm suddenly interested.
It's very interesting.
What? I was just joking with you two boys.
Yeah,
There
do you know
are
what?
no
I don't believe that
experiments
at all.
You know me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Right. Let's head back to the hotel. We're gonna ring the. I think we're gonna have to ring this number.
We had to gather ourselves, take a deep breath, and think over what we knew so far.
Okay.
What the chickens had I got myself into? What had I dragged Marty into? Moreover, what had we pulled the whole city into? This was going to be one of those cases that
Okay.
changed
It's gonna
things
be.
forever.
Well, it's getting quite fucking
But I wasn't
dicey.
worried
We've almost
about myself.
already been killed once,
It didn't matter
twice.
to me.
Sorry, twice.
Too many pieces had been plucked off this old rooster. But Marty's different. He's too good of a bird and too good of a cop to end up like me.
He's just a young one.
A secret twin brother? Sonny, I'm starting to feel like we're really in a detective novel.
Canny development.
Yeah, but listen, Marty.
I think it's
What is
time
it,
you go
Boss Bird?
home.
I think it's best if we go our separate ways.
What?
You're too good for
Are you
this.
joking? I know you have a weak sense of humor, but there's a limit to everything.
I'm not joking, Marty.
Well, I
Yeah.
certainly hope you are.
Whatever comes next, you don't need to be mixed up in it.
I think it's going to be way
have
too
someone to
dangerous
go
and you're
home
going to end up getting
God
killed.
damn it, Sonny. Can you hear yourself? What do you think? I endured all this to give up now? What do you take me for? No, pal. You're not getting rid of me so easily.
Damn
I
it.
just want you to keep your career and your life intact, you
You've got to,
moron.
you know,
Just accept it. Shake
I've
my
got nothing to
hand,
lose.
and go
Sonny's
home.
got nothing to lose.
Your wife Laura's waiting for you.
One more word, Sonny, and I swear I'm gonna bash your beak in. I risked my life more than once tonight. You know why?
Because you
No,
believe in the
why?
chicken police.
Because we're a team. We have been a team for almost a decade. Now, I don't care what Blood Boil says or
right,
whatever's on
all
a
right.
goddamn piece of paper. We're the chicken police, Sonny. And we always will be.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to that insane asylum and wrap this shit up fast and clean. Yeah, just like you said, even if it kills us.
Thanks, Marty.
Maybe not,
Without you,
maybe less to the killing.
I'd most likely already
Killing's
be
probably not a good
sleeping
idea.
the big sleep.
Birds of a feather flock together, right?
Let's
Like
do
you
it.
say, partner.
Let's drop this before you start crying on me, okay?
I hope not.
You almost just did.
Ah, clock off, Marty.
That's
Ah,
the
click
spirit,
off.
the Sonny I know and hate.
Right. So, are we going to... what's the number? 555-966. Can we use the phone? Five, 966, wasn't it? Too early, or we're just trying to... No answer there. Well, shit. Marty.
What do you think, Marty?
What are we doing?
You care what I think?
I do care what you
You
think.
must have hit your head pretty bad.
Stop fooling around, Marty. I'm serious. So what do you think about everything?
Well, I think we're in deep shit. But to
Definitely.
be honest, Ibn Wessler is in deeper shit.
Do you think he really murdered his brother? But why? And what does it have to do with Natasha and the threats?
Doesn't add up yet. Something's missing. Let's visit the institution and try to find out what we can about
Alright,
this
are we actually
Albert
going up there?
Wessler
Because
fella.
can he drive?
Exactly. If he's the dead body, we've got to know what the motive was. If we can't, and if he's still alive, we gotta ask him directly.
And what do you
I think that's a
son?
good idea, though.
I think Ibn, Albert, and Natasha are the three key players in this case, and that all of it has something to do with the brothel.
And the fact that Natasha used to be a courtesan?
Yeah, that too.
Listen, Sonny.
There's definitely something going on.
Oh, just forget it.
So they got
Marty,
that painting
okay?
clue as well
She's
as
not part of my
something,
life
you know, the
anymore.
corner of the painting
That's
missing.
exactly what I'm gonna do. Forget it. Let's concentrate on the case, and on making it out alive, and helping Natasha too.
Whatever you say, Boss Bird. So you think Natasha's really in danger?
It
Possible.
could be, or she could even be behind everything.
If she's behind everything,
you
then
don't
why is
believe
she
that.
I'm
bring,
not
you know,
sure
why did
what
she bring
I
us in?
believe, Marty.
So you wouldn't really draw attention to yourself.
Things got mixed up at the brothel.
Alright, let's investigate. Right, things got mixed up at the brothel. Not sure about Zivas. Molly's near. Caught the wristband. Deborah's dead. Natasha's secret. And then Natasha. Could be important, but not now. Okay, so not that one. Ibn. Connect those two. Ibn found out that Natasha was a secret spy of Zivas all that time. No, not that one. Natasha worked at the brothel and Zivas wanted to keep that a secret because she was with Ibn. Possibly that one.
Yeah,
That one.
that's
That's the
obvious.
one.
And Ibn wanted to keep that a secret.
That'll do me. So that would lead to painting piece. Almost, but not quite. It's not that. It's got to be the key. Not sure. Wristband. And then connect
did it
Ibn to
belong
the
to?
wristband. Somebody else had to pay for. Zipp dealt with the body and kept the wristband to himself. Zipp killed someone to keep this secret on Ibn Wessler's orders. Wristband is the key and the evidence that Zipp killed someone because of Natasha's secret. Zipp dealt with the body and kept the wristband to himself.
Somebody died for that secret.
Yes.
Zipp hid the body, but he kept the wristband.
But why? What's the connection between the dead body, Ibn, and Natasha? And we're after a clue, not an item. Wessler's twin. Do I connect it to Ibn? No. Actually, no, that's it. That's man, I'm being an idiot. Somebody from the royal family, Ibn Wessler was just a part of Zivas all along. The dead body was Ibn Wessler himself, but then who was the real killer? Albert Wessler, the resident of an insane asylum.
The dead
Let's
body
see.
was almost certainly Albert Wessler,
Right.
a resident of an insane
Is that true though? That's what I'm
Why did
wondering.
he have to die?
Are we good with that one? Marty. Let's ask you some questions, Marty.
So
Insane
where
Asylum.
exactly is this place?
A few hours drive from here, in the middle
6
of nowhere.
hours. A
It's
creepy old mansion.
Old mansion, of course.
Yeah, of course,
Think it's a
you
good
know,
idea
all
to
the
go
good,
there?
all the good
What if it's a trap?
insane asylums are
You can
creepy ass
still go
mansions.
back.
Huh, wouldn't you love that? No such luck, boss. If I get killed or locked up forever in an insane asylum, that's gonna be on you.
Thanks, pal.
Thank
I
you
deserve that.
very much. Well deserved. Tell me about Natasha.
Still
What
trust
thoughts
her?
on Natasha?
I never trusted her, Marty.
I mean, you believe her?
I'm sure she was honestly afraid. That too. And
Would
the
that
death
have been
of
any of
Deborah
our business, though?
complicated things even more.
Hey, Sonny, she didn't seduce you, right?
It quite looked like she did seduce you, to be
Ah,
fair.
don't be stupid, Marty. My old ticker hasn't been beating for a long time. Not that way, anyway.
Yeah, all right, boss.
Sometimes you get too old to date people. Right.
So what do you think
Corpse
happened
with
to the corpse?
wristband.
Probably been eaten. Horrible to think about, but
It is quite
even
disgusting.
if
They
half of what they
take
say
to the
about
hive.
is true, starvation, riots, arson, predation.
Are we going to end up going to the
Telling me.
hive?
Makes my feathers stand on end when I think about what goes on in there. And we pretend we don't know about it. As if Roachtown isn't even part of Clawville.
This won't end well. I'm afraid soon Clawville's gonna burn
The
once again. And because
Roachtown is
of
at the
its own
slums.
Well, that's if another meat war doesn't break out first. Cause then, the whole wilderness will burn.
foolishness. Lovely prospects, eh?
It's good,
Either way,
good options,
it was
really.
a damn clever move for Wessler to hide the body in Roachtown.
It's the only place no one will ever find it.
Like the belly of a burning ship.
Or pieces of
Oh,
it.
I think that was an intentional red herring.
Sounds about right.
Yo, tell me about
Who'd have
Zipp.
thought? I believed that little rat. I thought he'd changed. Idiot.
There's a point when it's too late to change, Marty. His past caught up with him. Whatever he did since then doesn't matter.
Not much.
Exactly. And that's the case with us, too. That's why I won't back down. Even though a voice in my head is screaming right now, leave it all to hell and have another drink.
It's always possible we could just
do that.
abandon the case.
Maybe we should.
Right. Alright then, Marty. Let's go to... Not there, because we can't leave. Let's go to the bedroom. Right. Do I actually have to... They won't let us leave.
You're the best, Bubo. You finally
Does that mean we actually have to
proved
call?
useful.
Can we call now? Six. Is there anybody here?
You could live in Cockroach Town. That's an
Okay.
honest place.
I don't
too.
know. I don't remember
Has a
Lewis's
similar
number.
stink.
Believe me, Marty, I thought about it.
Why am I not surprised?
Phone. I don't remember his number. Let's check the notebook. People. Lewis. 555-932. 932. Five, 9, 3, 2. Oh, Lewis, my boy, I require a room, please.
Hey, Lewis, it's me again.
For the, again.
What's up?
Were you sleeping, pal?
Me? Oh, I wasn't. Anyway, I'm always at your service,
Okay.
Would you open up a room for Marty?
Is it possible? Can you do that?
Sonny.
Thanks, Lewis. I'm not even gonna say it.
You're the best.
You won't fight again.
Yeah.
What's the point in having a hotel if you never use any of the rooms? Marty.
Please say the floor inside is covered with conspiracy.
More like dirty clothes and empty
Okay, well, I don't know what I'm
bottles,
supposed to be
Marty.
doing now.
Sorry.
You're no fun, Sonny.
Yeah, well, you'll get old eventually, too.
Never.
Too much time for this. Ain't got time for this shit.
A stack of papers. Just looking at them makes me think of Monica.
Monica. Oh, she's the thingy one. Right. Oh. So now we can go. Alright. Chapter 4. Ooh.
I slept like I used to sleep years ago.
You sleeping on the...
Like a
Why are you sleeping in your own bedroom?
Or a soldier. Empty. Dead tired. Then I saw Tessa. My darling little daughter.
Oh.
But no matter
Didn't
how
realize you had
hard
a
I
daughter.
tried, I couldn't recall her face. I reached out to her, but she just kept getting further and further away. Then I saw Molly.
Is
But
it
she wasn't real.
Tessa,
Just the ghost
your
of
daughter
a
with
memory.
Molly, or is it someone from a previous relationship?
I'm here, I cried. But all I heard was laughter. Not hers. Who's there?
That would be the cat.
Suddenly, she appeared. Natasha.
She
Just
got the
stood
claws
there
out though.
laughing, but her eyes were cold.
Some
Then she
hellish
said
nightmare.
something.
Rosebud.
Painted red. Painted red. Painted red.
Paint it red.
That was just a dream, Sonny. Nothing more.
You right, Mac?
I looked at Marty and I saw the same thing in his eyes as he probably saw in mine. It's time to hit the brakes, to turn back, go
That's
home,
definitely an
and
option.
forget about all of this.
Definitely an option.
Of
Is
course,
I'm not sure if it's,
I stepped on the gas.
not sure if it's the right
instead.
option or not, but I'm getting the feeling it probably is the right option to just to ignore it and go home.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting anything good, but this,
Ooh, just like a horror movie.
Quite
I
run
was thinking
down.
the same.
Are we going to get attacked by
Appearances
zombies?
can be deceiving.
Let's hope so.
Hello, resident. Who are you? A weird, a colour mural.
This picture,
It's
Really colourful.
Very...
special?
Special. Oh. Miranda. She's got to be the receptionist. I never expected it to be a giraffe. Congratulations if you picked giraffe.
Of all the great wild ones,
Hi.
Greetings, miss.
is it really you?
Well,
I love that it heads off the top of the screen.
It really is you, the chicken police.
I'm afraid so.
Yes.
Of all
We are the
that's
chicken
furry and
police.
plumey, that's fantastic.
Now, are you
Oh,
actually a receptionist or are you a resident?
Miss, we'd like to ask...
Please, don't be scared. I'm just really excited.
Okay,
You know,
Miranda.
I've read every book about you and your adventures, and I even collected.
Well, gentlemen, I still want
newspaper
books.
articles
We
when I
want
was a
books for
little
this.
Indeed.
Or sequels.
You can't imagine what an honor it is to meet you in person.
We really...
Oh God, oh
Okay.
God, oh God. Take a deep breath, Miranda.
Breathe.
Take a deep breath.
Miranda, calm down.
Are you okay, miss?
Yes, I am. I just needed some air. So, dear detectives, Santino and Martin, what can I do for you?
Well, we're here
Yes,
about
we have some
Wessler.
questions, if you don't mind.
I'd love to answer all of your questions, detectives.
I guess we have a super fan on my hands. Miranda. Can we
Say,
ask you about
miss,
this place?
What can you tell us about this place?
Our institution was standing even before the Great Meat War.
Okay,
and during
that's
the war,
interesting.
it was
Great Meat War. It's the second time
transformed
that's
into a
been brought
military
up.
hospital.
since then, we're relentlessly working on treating injured minds under the leadership of Dr. Quetzal, the famous specialist.
Dr.
The
Quetzal.
place
He's got to be a
seems pretty empty.
lizard.
Do many people work here?
Snake?
We have 32 residents and 7 nurses, including me.
Okay.
We also have a 3-person maintenance and cleaning staff and
Whole 3
of course,
people.
the heart and soul of our institution, Dr. Quetzal himself.
I see.
Alright.
Now this Dr. Quetzal, is he the director here?
Is he the big wig?
Exactly.
Top of the chain?
Director, scientist, researcher, patron, and doctor. And even a friend.
Quite a guy.
Same, sound like him, quite a guy.
Certainly is.
Oh, Dr. Sesuus Quetzalcoatl. I completely butchered that name.
So who is this Dr. Quetzal exactly?
Quetzal. We'll just
He's
call
a
him
world-famous
Quetzal.
researcher of the mind, Mr. Featherland. He published countless books in the fields of psychology and psychotherapy.
Psycho what?
Psycho what?
Unraveling the mind. It's the most crucial mission of the century, Mr. McChicken.
That's really good to know.
So
Okay.
this doctor's some celebrity, right? Does he usually meet other important persons?
I'm not sure.
Is he on
I
a
know
list?
What you mean.
Well, like Mr.
Hobart Wessler.
Wessler, for example.
Ah, yes.
Ibn
That's
Wessler.
something you should ask the doctor himself, but unfortunately, I don't think he has time right now.
He's swamped, is he?
Exactly.
Looks
Mr.
really
Featherland.
rushed off his feet
He
in
is
this place.
Very, very busy. All the time.
Go and talk
I
to your
thought so.
mate here. Ah, actually, should we ask about the strange
What
wristband?
can you say about this, miss? Have you seen anything like it?
Of course. Our residents wear these for identification. But how did you come by it? They only wear them inside the institution.
Well, it was found on a dead
I
body.
see.
The wristband does belong to one of our residents. But I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you more due to regulations.
Can you tell us if
Oh,
they're
come
still in the
on,
building?
Miranda. It's us, the chicken police.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Miranda,
Nice try.
this case is a matter of life and death. Lives
Go
are
on,
in
lay it
your
on thick,
hands.
Marty.
All right. All right. I'll do it. Albert Wessler.
So it was Albert
The
Wessler's.
patient's name is Albert Thaddeus Wessler.
Figures. Just as we thought.
Thank you, Miranda. We'll never forget this.
Thank you.
Please, don't make me blush. And don't tell anyone you heard it from me.
Heard what
Oh,
from
we
you?
won't. I promise.
Oh, you smooth talker, Marty. You smooth
So when
talker.
can we talk to Mr. Wessler?
I need to ask Dr. Quetzal. Please wait here.
Thank
Okay.
you.
We'll wait. Oh, beware. That's a creepy... I do find this place quite creepy.
This
Hello,
guy
resident.
seems strangely familiar to me.
You don't say. You've been treated here too. That would explain a lot.
Ah,
Don't be stupid. I'm serious. Take a closer look.
do we know this person?
No. Well,
No, it can't be. Are you telling me it's him? M.B. Davis himself?
Who the
I'm
hell's
sure
M.B.
of it,
Davis?
pal. It seems the gossip was true. The eternal king of jazz in a madhouse.
Oh, a jazz,
Oh, no.
jazz one.
Oh, no. The poor devil.
Ah, I've no idea who you're talking about, but it's very sad to see him.
We should go to reception first.
See, we're at
Let them know
reception.
we're here.
We need to find out what. We've got the stairs to look at. Just check the resin out. Window.
Even if you manage to escape, there's nothing but hills and forests for 100 miles.
I wonder if they have a
Imagine
sign
how
as
many
well.
Poor lunatic ghosts must haunt those woods.
Ooh,
Creepy.
Sonny, you're creeping me
Ooh,
out.
As I don't know whether it's an actual done thing, but I know in the Arkham games, on the route to Arkham Asylum, there's a sign saying, "Beware pedestrians" or "Beware hitchhikers could be escaped patients."
Dr. Quetzal.
I wonder if
will
that's an
be.
actual real thing.
He's waiting for you in his office. Up the stairs, all the way down the hall until the last door.
We're gonna get eaten.
Surprise. It's enough to mention Wessler's name and all the doors are open.
I wouldn't want to get mixed up in this, but do you think Albert is in danger?
Danger?
Entirely possible.
What do you mean?
We haven't heard from him since he disappeared, and we're really, really worried.
Right, so hold on.
We don't know yet, miss, but
He
let's
disappeared and you didn't call the
Great Wild Ones
cops.
protect him.
Where is he?
No idea, Marty.
The smell of all that's furry. I'll never get used to it.
Well, reptiles have a disgusting body odor, Marty.
You're sitting right there.
But they feel exactly the same about us.
Exactly.
Oh, hello, Dr.
Wild
Quetzal.
ones, you scared the hell out of me.
I already sensed your arrival from afar. You know
what?
snakes have a different sense of smell.
Chef's
And
kiss.
birds
Yeah,
used to be
your
our
voice is
prey
killing. Your
once
silhouette's
upon a
kicking.
time.
Well, yeah. Luckily, we're living in civilized times.
Lucky. Please
Okay.
take a seat. How can I help you, gentlemen?
Your suit's very fly as well. Right, creepy window. Hat and coat, walls. Let's
Your
have a look at the
office
walls.
is rather Puritan.
Simple.
Simple, I mean.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, yes.
What are stores?
I can't let my mind wander.
And
from
Sonny,
my work.
in his crest,
I only
is that a
keep what's
bullet hole? Or is
essential in
that
my office.
an earring?
I see.
It looks
That
like a
makes
star
sense.
from here. Does Sonny have his earring in his crest? Desk. Come on. Walls again. Window.
Why do you have bars on your windows?
Because it's a room like all the
Uh-huh.
others, and I'm just an animal too, like all our residents.
Or you like have
With
people
the
in here to talk to
significant
them, and
difference of you being a doctor and not a patient. Am I right?
It's
We're
not
all
as
potions.
big of a difference as you'd think.
okay, Mr. Dr. Quetzal.
To be honest,
Let's have a
gentlemen,
chat, you and
your
I.
visit is anything but a surprise. I could even say I was expecting it.
Right.
What an introduction.
Please forgive me. I have the bad habit of immediately getting into the middle of things. How very rude of me. My name is Dr. Sessuous Quetzalcoatl.
Sessuous. All right.
But most call me Dr.
Quetzal.
Quetzal to keep it simple.
It's quite a
The
name, to be
name is
fair.
Santino Featherland, and this is my partner, Martin McChicken, from...
Martin McChicken.
From the predatory division of the Clawville Police Department. Your fame is one step ahead of you.
I guess our reputation
we're used to
does
it.
precede us.
Certainly.
We have some questions about one of your patients, if you don't mind. We'd like to talk to him, if that's possible.
I get a feeling he's not
Please
here.
be specific, detective.
Look, Doctor, we're too tired to play cat and mouse. Not that snake and chicken sounds any better.
Very funny, I must say. Just what I expected from you two detectives.
We know you know. It's about Albert Wessler.
Yes, you've already been
Even
told us about
Wessler's secret
Albert Wessler.
twin. Ever since we've said his name, all the doors have miraculously opened. That's what we call a bullseye.
Well, yes. Why should I deny it?
Uh-huh.
We're talking
Is he still
about a
there, though,
rather
'cause he's apparently
illustrious
missing?
patient here, who's also a very particular medical case.
Particular, peculiar.
Now, that's much more interesting.
So,
So, are you willing to talk about him?
can we have a chat about him?
Because Albert, regrettably, has disappeared, and you are police detectives, I have no reason not to talk to you. Of course, I'm at your service, but you must understand.
Oh, you're checking your
I can't
watch.
Disclose information.
You got somewhere to be?
About my patients.
Not even if it's a matter of life and death.
Everything's a matter of life and death in here, detective. This is a hospital, even if it's primarily for the mind, not the body.
Still, I'd like to
Okay,
give the
let's,
impossible a try.
Let's have a chat.
Please, detective,
Just-
just do your job, and I'll do mine.
Not a bad idea. Let's do that. let's just ask her questions. Tell me about Albert Wessler.
How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
Do you know where he went? How did he escape? That's the point.
His first symptoms surfaced in his teens.
Depression, panic attacks.
Depression, panic attacks, and schizophrenia.
Was he brought here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it.
Okay.
That's the reason our institution stands out here in the middle of nowhere.
So
Because
no
animals
one
would
can
rather
see.
hide what they're afraid to face.
I couldn't have
Humans
said
aren't
it
so
better
different.
myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Why though?
Then how do you sustain yourselves?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector III, of course.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
My
So you tax
family
paid,
and the
not
royal
tax paid, it was
dynasty
just.
had always been on good terms, Mr.
So
Santino.
the royal family pays for this place. Interesting.
What kind of a place is this exactly?
Tell about
I
this
assume
place.
It wasn't built as an insane asylum.
What's its
It used to
history?
be a mansion. Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century.
Right.
Until finally it went to the crown of Cloville when Hector's great-grandfather took the throne. The rest is history.
So it's just
How
taken
long
by the
have you been
crown.
working here?
I've worked here for more than 30 years, but it's been in my family's possession for almost 150 years.
That's quite a long time.
So if I count correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's almost
Almost.
accurate, Mr. Featherland.
What a lovely inheritance.
It's very interesting why would the crown take the house and then immediately the Quetzals took it over and changed it to an asylum. It's
Tell
very
me,
curious.
Doctor, do you know Madame Zavas?
Just like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's
To be fair, I don't think you want to meet her in person.
Oh, you can be sure about that. I'd gladly get you two together if I had the chance. A spare cell would suit her very much.
Nice one, Sonny. Nice one.
As it
Yes,
turns out,
she's
she
a little
likes
bit-
small, narrow, secret places.
Oh,
Yeah, a
I
bit crazy.
see.
Just
What
a little bit crazy.
coincidence.
Right. Question.
Dr. Quetzal's a real mystery. But I can turn that to my advantage. I just need to focus on
Strange. So you want strangeness. So you want strange questions. Mysterious. So when did Albert become a resident of your institute? I want a question available. Let's do that one.
Of your institute.
Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him,
I don't wonder where
arrived
Ibn
here
comes from.
almost exactly 4 years ago.
Could you describe that day more specifically?
So
It
why
was
did they just
not long after New Year's Eve.
did Ibn
Maybe
bring
the
him
first week
to
of
drop
the
him off,
year,
or
if I'm not
was
mistaken.
Ibn a resident
It
as
was
well?
Sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows. The power was going out for short periods of time.
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name.
Right.
I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
And Albert?
He was new
Right.
to me, an invisible grey ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence a secret.
I wonder if we'll have
Because
Louis
they
the
were ashamed of him,
16th
of course,
thing, you know,
Mr.
the
Featherland. That's how
Man
it
of the Iron Mask
is.
kind of deal.
What was your first impression of him?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him.
So was it Ibn that
His eyes were
stayed
constantly moving, never
and
stopped for a second.
Albert that
Was he
didn't
afraid?
I wouldn't say so.
become the gangster?
It seemed to
Or was it the other way
me
around?
that he wanted to move
I'm very
into
intrigued
our
now.
institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone, locked up in silence and darkness.
Didn't you think
So
of
he's a
that
recluse.
as unusual?
Of course I did, but who am I to judge? It was rather special treatment.
Interesting. Did Ibn Wessler threaten you in any way? What kind of special treatment did Albert get?
What kind of special treatment
What
did
kind?
Albert get?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wessler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
Favoritism?
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
It's none of our go-around business.
So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment.
So you didn't even check whether he
For
was
Albert,
actually
we put
legitimately
that
ill.
aside.
So you didn't even know if he had anything wrong with him?
That's a bit messed up, that.
No, he was more of a guest than a patient.
Right. It's a bit of a daydreamer. Alright, extra stuff. Do you think he was a threat to others? Addicted to details. How did Albert relate to you? How did you see Albert when you first met?
How did
That
you
one?
see Albert when you first met?
Probably a wrong
Albert was
answer.
Shy and reserved, like a ghost. He almost never touched anything.
Okay.
It was evident he was exceptionally intelligent. He
Supervillain
measured
material,
and
you talk.
observed
Are you talking supervillain
everything
material?
around him.
What else?
He was delicate and graceful, almost like a woman. Yes.
Was he a female
He
rat,
was
though?
rather feminine. He was an artist, Mr. Featherland, a magnificent painter, and rather good writer, too. Sometimes I even heard him sing.
Why did he have to be
What was his
locked
shower
up?
voice like?
I asked the same thing at first.
Okay. Oh, plus 20. Nice. That was a good question to ask. Are you telling me Albert have multiple personalities? Schizophrenia does have, in extreme cases, I think that does have multiple personalities.
Are you telling me
Like,
Albert
very
had
extreme. There's more to it than
multiple
that, though.
personalities?
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures.
Okay.
He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on
Okay, so he sounds a
stormy
bit
days, took the
more
reins
dangerous.
over their shared mind.
He had these seizures from the beginning.
Yes,
And we'll
Mr.
see, were they always
Featherland,
there?
but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
So he left and then he
What?
came back.
Left the institution more than once?
Oh, yes, Mr. Featherland.
So he did say he was a
Albert
guest
left
more
the
than a
institution
patient.
on several occasions until the last time when he failed to come back.
Wetzel's
You
not
didn't think
only
that was
very
odd?
observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth.
Alright,
Focus.
Sonny, let's do it.
Addicted to details.
So Albert could just walk in and out. How could he let Albert leave this place? Why? When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time? You're keeping some things from me, am I right? Of course he will be. When did Albert leave?
When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time?
Why did that
It was
happen?
about 2 years ago. Mr. Hobart Wessler appeared and demanded we let his brother go free. Naturally, we obliged. We had no idea
Okay,
if
so that's
we'd ever
interesting.
see him again.
But you did.
He
So,
returned the
came
same
back.
day. Albert was ecstatic. He was unrestrained. I could almost say happy.
That was unusual for him.
So,
I had never seen him like that before,
right.
Mr. Featherland. He just smiled and stared at the empty wall for hours.
So what happened when he
Did he ever
left?
tell you what happened to him outside?
So, good question,
Of
Sonny.
course he
Good question.
did. Albert and I had a good relationship. He was working on a painting for his brother.
Was
Outside
it a
though?
painting of a lovely lady cat?
Oh.
Exactly. So you already know about that.
Something just
Yes,
clicked.
Dr. Quetzal, I've seen it.
Oh, the painting, Natasha's painting of when she was young. When she was a young cat. The naked one. That's probably why he was working on a painting. Right. Does that mean... So Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting? Has Albert ever talked to you about Natasha? Did Albert tell you how he felt about the painting? Did Albert tell you about his relationship with his brother?
Has Albert
Ask
ever
about
talked
Natasha.
to you about Natasha?
Only in superlatives, as if he
Probably the
wasn't
wrong
talking about
wrong
a
question to
real
ask, but I'm
person,
curious.
But an ethereal being, about an angel or a demon, something that is not of this world.
And what did you think
Okay.
about his fantasies?
We are in an institution where almost everyone is hallucinating on a daily basis, Mr. Featherland. It didn't really bother me, but the fluctuations...
Well, that's what you're
positive
thinking, you know,
and
it doesn't really
negative
matter what they're
were
hallucinating.
more disturbing.
It's whether
Thanks,
they're
Doc.
acting
I didn't
positively or
understand a word, but
negatively
I
to
think
the
I get
things.
the point.
So Albert left many occasions to continue. Oh, that was a -10. Shit. Still in the plus side though. So Albert had left on many occasions to continue working on the
Albert
painting.
left
So that
on
was got to be the right
many
question.
occasions to continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person.
Strange.
But unfortunately, his seizures also multiplied and became more dangerous.
More dangerous.
You're gonna tell me,
Was hurting himself.
right? So he's
And on
self-harming.
one occasion, he even tried to hurt me. It was unprecedented. It seemed his confined personality was taking over their shared mind entirely, piece by piece.
Do you think the painting caused it?
Not the painting, Mr.
You
Featherland.
think that Natasha?
Its subject.
Exactly. He was obsessed right until that
Okay,
fateful
so it
day
is-
when he returned to us
Was
for
Albert-
the last time.
What exactly happened that day, Doctor?
Hold on, I'll come
It
back to
wasn't
this
Hobart
thought.
who
Hold that
brought
thought.
his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally, I mean. And Albert was in a terrible, terrible
This is a
state.
bobcat and a ram.
What happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right.
Alright,
There's no
we're
use
going all
turning
in
back
here.
Now. So, Albert's tongue was torn out.
Okay, I wasn't
Cut
expecting
off,
that
I
one.
don't know exactly. And he was blinded in one eye. Or rather, one of his eyes was missing entirely.
So you're saying Albert was brought back
Okay.
horribly mutilated?
Yes.
No, was it Natasha who
And they
did?
didn't give any explanation as to what had happened. They simply told me it was some kind of accident.
Hellish accident
Dr.
lose
Quetzal
to lose
is
an
cold
eye
and
and your
professional,
tongue.
but he's also very confused. Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert.
Alright, Sonny.
Focus, confused.
Okay. So, before we jump in there further, possible theory. Albert was taken to do a painting of Natasha. He got obsessed. He made a play for Natasha. Natasha attacked him, took out an eye and took off his tongue. Or took out an eye and then Ibn took his tongue. Or he saw something and then they brought him back. Maybe. We're going to go with that one. I think that's possible. You didn't believe Albert had an accident, right? Two fellows brought back Albert. Could you describe them? Maybe it's not easy for you to just talk about it, but did you examine his wounds thoroughly?
Maybe it's
Try
not
that
easy
one.
for you to talk about it, but did you examine his wounds thoroughly?
I'm not that kind of doctor,
Right.
Mr. Featherland. But even I could
Cut or bitten off.
His tongue was either cut out or bitten
That
off.
sounds like a predator.
His eye was gouged out. He also had several broken bones.
But there's no doubt it wasn't an accident.
Right.
I don't believe it was, Mr. Featherland.
That's kind of like on the levels of I fell down the elevator shaft onto 6 bullets kind of accident. Concentrate, Doctor. What do you think happened to Albert? Pull yourself together, Doctor. What was Albert's condition after the incident? Concentrate. What do you think happened to Albert?
Concentrate, Doctor. What
do you think? Concentrate.
happened to Albert?
I'm sure it was Hobart. He ordered his men to mutilate poor Albert.
Do you think it was his men, though?
Do that.
Maybe Albert saw something he could accidentally reveal.
To whom?
Is it possible?
The 4 walls, a couple of crazies, you?
To anyone, Mr. Featherland.
I mean, he was free to come and
I
go.
don't think it's that simple, Doctor. But thank you for your honest opinion.
Unless it was a painting.
Welcome, Detective.
There's another. We've got another painting.
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
Did someone come and actually? To be fair, did someone come and collect him?
Came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We
Right.
even had to transfer him to another cell, a more safe one.
What did Hobart do during the visit?
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother,
Okay.
who was in an almost vegetative state by then.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while, he was trying to signal something.
Okay.
Perhaps he was too
What is he trying?
afraid. And most likely his fingers had been broken too, so he couldn't even write.
Do you think Hobart could have killed Albert?
It's
Put him out of his
horrible
misery?
to say it, but I'm sure of it.
How did he disappear in the end? Did someone come for him?
So, because where we are,
That's
we're
what's
quite a way
most
away from it.
eerie about it all, Mr. Featherland. He simply disappeared. His door,
Locked room
which
murder?
only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
So,
No
just,
one.
just in the middle of the night, he just
Interrogated
his
the
door just
staff,
magically unlocked and he
even
just
the
disappeared.
patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness. We don't know what happened to him.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch.
Okay.
Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
How did he get the key? How did he get the door open? That's what I'm wondering.
But please, I now must attend to my work.
All right, Dr.
We
Quetzal.
understand, Doctor. Thank you.
Thanks for your time. How do we do? 90% accuracy. Not bad. Not bad. So, Albert Wessler did disappear. He just disappeared in the middle of the night. And I get the feeling that he was killed. And that's the body that... I think that's the body that Zipp got rid of. Or he's still alive, and the body that bracelet was put onto the body to make it think that Albert was dead. That's another theory. I have so many theories running through my head right now. But on that note, we are going to leave that here for today, guys. We're going to have to think about this a bit more. We're going to have to delve into this next time. Very interesting, very interesting. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you are new here, feel free to hang out and come check out some of the other stuff we've got going on. If you are not new here, you know what's coming. Please like, share, comment, subscribe and all that jazz. And as always, we shall see you on the flip side. Bye bye.